What's going on, YouTube and cryptocurrency family? My name is Harry, and I'm the Crypto Vet. Thank you so much for tuning back in, guys. I'm at 800 subscribers. I honestly never thought I would ever hit 500, and to do all of this in less than 7 or 8 months. Thank you guys so much. Today, I'm going to give you guys a very, very important update. I'm going to bring up some stuff that I know other people probably aren't incorporating into their charts. Maybe they are. I mean, there's a lot of wonderful chart analysts out there. And then I'm also going to bring you some stuff that I've found from some other crypto analysts that kind of overlay with what I'm thinking and kind of give you everything put together. So if you like this content, if you like that, hit the like, hit the subscribe. I'm so close to actually being monetized here on YouTube. And as soon as I do, all the profits from my channel, I will donate to some charity. I'm not sure, just because I don't need the profits from the ads and all those things. Those I will donate every single dollar of that. So if you can at least help me get to 1,000, guys, at least the money here won't go to YouTube and Google and all that. It'll actually go to somebody who may actually need it. So again, guys, thank you so much. If you aren't already, follow me on Twitter at XRP Veterinarian. I do post charts, price targets, some different things that potentially could be useful. You may like that. So if you like it, please by all means also notifications. This is time sensitive content, and links for the Twitch, Discord, all the fun goodies, all in the description. So guys, thank you again so much for supporting me. And like I said, I love doing this, and I'll keep doing it as long as somebody. Only takes one person who wants it, but the more people that can get this information, the better, as far as the crypto space and financial freedom. So let's go ahead and get started right now on CoinMarketCap. We can see, let's just hit that refresh. We got something big up here in the top. Don't ever forget this number up here. Bitcoin dominance now has dropped another 0.5%. We're down to 60.6. And the current market cap for all of crypto is at 1.4 trillion. Bitcoin, of course, being the big bad boy here at about 877 billion. And if you guys are just new to the space, this number right here used to be what the total market cap was, and Bitcoin itself was only at about 280, 300 billion. But now we have Ethereum getting up to, on its own, close to where Bitcoin's market cap was 6 months ago. So this is awesome for the space. We do have some new players in the top 10 here as far as reordering. We have Cardano sitting at $1.43 at 44 billion in market cap. XRP, my favorite cryptos, down to number 7, but in time, this list changes all the time. Binance Coin is the new one that hasn't been here. But they're doing lots and lots of things as far as similar projects to like Ethereum and making their platform grow, and it's now in the number 4 spot. But let's go ahead and see who the biggest gainers are. Cardano is at the top. Theta, a project that I'm very supportive of, is also at the top. But however, this is Theta Fuel, which is used in the actual blockchain along with Theta for a decentralized video platform, and a very good project. So definitely look into it. Stellar making some moves. Let's see who the biggest losers are. Biggest losers, we got 1inch, Pancake. I still don't understand half of these food ones, but yep. So let's go ahead and dive into the chart. So the first thing I'm going to go into is just going to go into the daily on Bitcoin here. And on here, I went ahead and threw on the EMA ribbons. The reason why is because I was watching a video by Chris from Crypto, and I said I definitely like seeing him. He has some cool ass trades if you want to see some trades in the millions. And he also has some very, very good insight. Him, DaVinci J15, Carl from the Moon, they all have very, very good insight as far as Bitcoin and where it's going. So if we go ahead and throw on the EMA ribbons here on the daily, we can see that during our correction phases, which if you watched my previous videos, I've showed you that they usually last between 14 to 21 days on average in a bull run. Can extend up to about a month and a half, but for the most part, they extend for about 14 days at minimum, and usually average out at around 3 weeks. And we went over in the video that we usually have had about 3 weeks of down. Then we go have about 3 weeks of up here, 25 bars. And this is how we play it out. If you look here on the EMA ribbons, you can see that we have almost always come down to touch the bottom of the EMA ribbon. Well, right now we are in our about 5th day here or so, 5-6 days into this correction. And we were bouncing here at the top of the EMA ribbon. And a lot of people are saying, this is the bottom. This is it. This is where we bounce up. And there's a good chance it could happen. But there's a lot of other stuff happening in the background that is making it look like it's more likely that we are going to continue the correction. Now, anything can happen. This is a game of probabilities, not a game of what the charts say is fact, right? So we have to kind of take out what we see and go from there. Well, during this first correction here, we went down a total of about 31%. Currently, right now, we are sitting at about 24.5% correction to its peak. If we look, what we got to right back here, we got down to 27% just in those first 3 or 4 days. We had a little bit of a pickup, and then we started to come down before we ever bounced up. So, is this correction over? We're not sure yet. So we kind of have to dig deeper into the charts, kind of see what's happened in the past, and kind of get a bigger perspective as to what's going on. If we look here on the market cipher copy, we can see that during this time we had a large amount of hidden bearish divergence, and at this exact moment, this bearish divergence did play out. Well, we've been getting good support here at the top of the EMA ribbons, so it's making you want to think that yes, we could potentially go up. Well, something I want to bring up that I know not many other people are doing is during what things have happened in the history at the same time that we've seen price action. So I know as a common statement is like, you show me the candle, I'll tell you what day in history it was, or something like that. And it basically means that if you can show me the charts, I can tell you what happened on that day based off of history. So in accordance with Bitcoin, we've seen a lot of stuff correlate with the US government as far as stimulus money, as well as printing of stimulus money, as far as it getting signed into law. Not just the days it passes in the House, because after it goes to the House, it has to go to the Senate. From there, it usually gets argued back. The dumb shits move it back over to the other fuckheads, and then those fuckheads argue about it. Nancy Pelosi says something stupid, and then it doesn't get signed, right? And we have this clusterfuck of bullshit. Well, if we go ahead and head over here to the Brave New Coin Index, all right, I've got some important dates on here. March 27th, this is when Donald Trump signed the first stimulus package into law, and this was after we had the announcement of the bad thing, right? Black Swan event. It came down. From this date on, once it was signed into law, we started one of the craziest uptrends that we've seen in a long time. All right, so let's zoom in a little bit more. Here on December 27th, this is when Donald Trump signed the next one into law, not just in the House, things like that. And we were at an indecision point, and afterwards we saw a 62% incline in price action that lasted for about 12 days. And then after that, we had, shockingly enough, 23 days, about 3 weeks of correction that totaled to about 32%. After that, we had the big jump to the upside, right? After our correction, the pump from stimulus. Here we go. On this date right here, February 8th, this is when Tesla announced that they had bought a shit ton of Bitcoin, right? And just for shits and giggles, we can see that we had about 2 weeks of pump before we started this correction. But if we look from when this ended to here, we had about 3 weeks, 21 days, 22 days of pump to the upside. And now here we are. So projected, if we follow history, we've got a new stimulus package potentially coming out that could be signed into law on March 14th. The reason I picked this day is because this is the day that Democrats are saying has to be done due to unemployment potentially expiring here in the US. Lots of figures as far as people needing money. The list goes on and on. Well, ironically enough, the 15th, the 16th is putting us right at around 21 days or 3 weeks of correction. So the question is, during this time, will we see a full correction down to around 30-ish%, which has historically been what corrections do for Bitcoin during bull markets? And in previous videos, we have gone all the way back to 2017, and we've measured out how long the runs go, what the correction periods are, and this is where we get this data that we're using now, this 2 to 3 weeks, this 30%. It's been as harsh as 41%, right? So, but as of right now, it's looking like that history is going to repeat itself. May it do it perfectly? Not sure, right? As of right here, when we dropped down the first time, we had a nice little buyback before we came down. The question is right now, will we have a buyback, have it take off and go to the upside, or will we stay underneath here? So to do that, we have to kind of zoom into the charts some more. All right, so this is the chart that I had on the 4-hourly that I know a lot of people on Twitch with me have been following. We've been looking at this. We've been trading it with Market Cipher here at the bottom. And we've got a couple interesting things on here. We've got our 20 exponential moving average, which is on the 4-hourly. This is the red line. We've got our 20 daily exponential moving average in the dark blue line. And this line right here, let me go ahead and change that. That is the weekly. I need to try to make these correlate with everybody so we don't get confused as I go between charts. And we have this dark blue line, which is the 20 weekly exponential moving average. So right here during this last bull run, which is correlating to this area here, let's head on back. And we can see that we stayed, once we broke below this 20 EMA on the 4-hour, we fell down. But we got good support on the daily, got above it, and this is how our consolidation worked. When we got above both and the 20 4-hourly EMA broke above the daily, that's when we started our uptrend. However, when it broke to the downside, we stayed below it. When we had this bearish cross here, we stayed below it. So zooming into where we are now on the 4-hourly, we broke through the 20 4-hour EMA, came down. We kind of found support on the daily, went below it, came up. Now we're below it, and it looks like we are about to have a bearish cross on the daily as well as the 4-hourly EMA. And during this time, we ended up having, let's see, roughly about 6 days, about a week before we were able to get back above this, confirm it, and then start the next run. Now, the reason I'm bringing all of this up is because, like I said, it doesn't mean history has to repeat itself, but it tends to rhyme. It tends to do stuff very, very similar, and the charts are probabilities. So we know that when this happens, this is typically what we see, and it looks like we are about to see that again. So Bitcoin is at a very, very crucial point and would need to actually flip this in order to show some bullishness and actually continue up. Now, if we zoom in here a little bit, we can see that right now we are getting rejected on both. We are not following this little fractal that I had put up where, you know, we came up, came down, found bound support, went into the descending channel. We are actually below the descending channel, and this is just a copy and paste. Doesn't mean that my thing has to be right. It's just showing that if you compare where we're at now to where we were before, we're lagging. And by lagging means that the bears are actually a little bit more in control than the bulls. So I know this video is going a little bit long, but I think this is super important. So I think we're going to be in a little bit of a consolidation slash dumpage zone, at least for the next 2 weeks. This 2 weeks being fear in the market because people don't know if they're going to get money. Fear in the market because people don't know if they're going to get their unemployment checks. Fear in the market because Bitcoin is starting to go down. Yes, we have good news. Institutional investors are buying in. Yes, we got MicroStrategy. We got Elon Musk. We have Tesla. But in the end, retail investors are what drive the price more than these institutional investors because they buy most of this shit over the counter, which doesn't affect the actual market price whatsoever. Now, we could squeeze this to the point where institutional investors buy so much of it that there's not enough on the market, right? If they start buying at Coinbase and Coinbase has to take it out of their liquidity pool, and then we could start seeing some heavy fluctuations of volatility at that point, but we're not quite there yet. Also, you have to remember that this stuff is manipulated, right? If Elon Musk can own $1.6 billion worth of Bitcoin, right? Think about how much that is as far as total. What if all of a sudden his shareholders say he has to sell it all and he has to dump it on the market and there's not enough institutional investors to buy it, right? So there's a lot of stuff that can happen. And I did get that point brought up to me in the comments. So I'm not remembering the name, but thank you for mentioning that. I do bring up manipulation all the time, especially things like F2 Pool and all these other groups who could dump it all at the same time. However, that's something we have to deal with right now with a asset that's market cap is very, very low in comparison to other things, right? You couldn't really do that with gold because gold's market cap is like 9 or 10 trillion. So it's a lot harder to manipulate that and move prices as you can with something like Bitcoin, which again is why you start to see some of these altcoins really take the fuck off because again, you know, you can low supply, high demand in the short term, boom, right? So as of right now, we are starting to get this drop, starting to get this bearish cross, and we are in this consolidation period. Still have a lot of time left in it, another 1 to 2 weeks in my opinion. And I know that a lot of people are asking what are my price targets. So I have this buyback box right here. And this is important because one, the top of this box is putting us right back to the all-time high that we had before this previous pump. And the bottom of the box is putting us to right before we had the Tesla news, as well as where we had high rejection during a little pump up before we came back down to retest. This is also where we have a lot of volume traded during this time. We have support below us, not much above here, which would be very easy to see a drop if we get below around 46,000. So I think that we would find a good bounce right at this area. Maybe trade in this bit for a little bit. Is there a chance that we can go lower all the way down to the point of control around 34, as low as 30? Yes, but I think about a 50% chance that this will be the bottom on this correction unless there's some bad news or big manipulation that could drive it lower. So that's my rant on Bitcoin and where we're at right now. So, go ahead and just take that as a grain of salt. I will be putting up another video directly after this where I'm going to go over Ethereum, Cardano, and XRP, 3 other cryptos that I really like, and Cardano being one that we were trading on Twitch that happens to hit both of our price targets. So I'll go ahead and put that in a different video since this video is already at 16 minutes. But thank you guys for watching. Again, thank you for all the support, and I will catch you guys in the next video.